Do trusts protect against pre-existing debt? Have you ever wondered if putting your assets in a trust can shield them from creditors? This is a common question in estate planning, especially when considering debt. Let's break down how trusts interact with pre-existing debt and what you need to know. First, it is important to understand that generally, trusts do not protect assets from creditors if the debt existed before the trust was created. This is due to a legal principle known as the fraudulent transfer rule. If someone transfers assets into a trust while already owing debts, creditors can challenge these transfers. They can potentially recover those assets to satisfy the debts. Now, let's talk about the fraudulent transfer rule a bit more. If assets are moved into a trust with the intent to defraud existing creditors, or if the transfer makes the grantor insolvent, courts can invalidate that transfer. This means that simply placing assets into a trust after incurring debt does not provide protection. Next, consider the difference between irrevocable and revocable trusts. Irrevocable trusts, where the grantor gives up control and ownership of the assets, can offer some protection from future creditors. On the other hand, revocable trusts do not protect assets from creditors because the grantor retains control and can revoke the trust at any time. Timing is also a key factor. Transfers made before any creditor claims arise have a better chance of being protected. If a trust is created and funded well before debts or creditor claims exist, the assets may be shielded from future creditors. Another aspect to consider is spendthrift provisions. Many trusts include these clauses, which protect the trust assets from the beneficiary's creditors. However, they do not protect against the grantor's pre-existing creditors. It is also essential to differentiate between the creditors of beneficiaries and those of grantors. Trust assets are generally protected from the creditors of beneficiaries if the trust is properly structured. However, creditors of the grantor can pursue assets transferred into a trust if the transfer was made to avoid pre-existing debts. In the context of elder law and estate planning, trusts are often used to protect assets from future creditors or long-term care costs. However, they are not a tool to erase or shield existing debts. Proper planning is vital, and creating and funding trusts before creditor issues arise is the best approach. In summary, trusts do not protect against pre-existing debt if the transfer into the trust was made with the intent to avoid those debts or when the grantor is insolvent. Asset protection through trusts is effective primarily for future creditors and requires careful timing, irrevocability, and relinquishment of control over the assets.